She tells them, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my post-Super Bowl NFL Power Rankings. Now, without further ado, let's get started. At number 32, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who ended their season at 1-5 after their loss against the Colts. Now, we're going to see the Jaguars pick Trevor Lawrence first overall, no doubt in my mind, 100%. That's who Jacksonville will be selecting with the first overall pick. Either that or they're going to trade the pick away for a lot of value, but I doubt they trade the pick away. I think they're going to definitely 100% select Trevor Lawrence as the first overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. And I think the addition of Urban Meyer as their head coach, I think could actually help Jacksonville in the future. Coming in at number 31, we got the New York Jets, who ended their season at 2-14 after their loss to the Patriots. Now, for the Jets, their most likely quarterback change will be a Deshaun Watson trade, as the Texans have said they're not interested in trading Deshaun away, but if they did, they would trade him to New York. And I think that would be the best spot for Deshaun Watson and for the New York Jets, because they can either trade out of the number 2 overall pick and get some draft capital, and check this out, they can actually, because they have 2 first-round picks this year, to help out the New York Jets in the offensive side or the defensive side, especially since you've hired the former defensive coordinator of the 49ers as their head coach. I think that the honest thing I think they should do is trade for Deshaun Watson and then go get some defensive players or receiving help for Deshaun Watson. Coming in at number 30, we got the Houston Texans, and at 4-12, losing to the Titans in their final game. I think the Texans are in a good situation to tank. And what do I mean by tank? I mean by rebuilding. And what do I mean by tank? I mean tanking next year, but only if you got your draft picks back. But in that case, I'm going to say no, they should not tank. But they should at least use Deshaun Watson and trade him away. I have said it. The New York Jets is the best spot, because you can honestly trade a few first rounders for Deshaun Watson, not do what Bill O'Brien did and trade DeAndre Hopkins for a running back. Yeah, not good. Not a good trade. Didn't even get a first rounder. I believe he only got a second rounder for him. Like, really? And he's the third or second best receiver in the NFL. Get out of here. But the point is, I think the Texans are in a good situation to trade Watson away, get a new starting quarterback, maybe they get Sam Darnold in return, and get some help for Sam Darnold in Houston. Coming in at number 29, and we got the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-11-1, ending their season after a devastating loss against the Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, I'm going to say this, Cincinnati has a good future in their hands. Joe Burrow will definitely be their starting quarterback next year and will be the quarterback in the near future. But what does the Bengals have to do? They got to start building the offensive line to protect Joe Burrow. Look what happened to Burrow. He tore his ACL in his rookie year. He could have been rookie of the year, but he couldn't because he got injured. And it's because his offensive line didn't protect him. And honestly, that will continue to happen to Joe Burrow unless they build an offensive line that can help him. Honestly, I think defense, you should build it later. But you should build the offensive line to protect your franchise quarterback. Coming in at number 28, we got the Atlanta Falcons, who ended their season 4-12 after a loss to the Buccaneers in Tampa, where the Buccaneers actually ended up beating the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. But regardless of that, what I think the Falcons should do is they should trade their quarterback, Matt Ryan. They should trade away, if they can, Julio Jones. These guys are not the future of the franchise anymore. You have to rebuild with a new system. You're bringing in a new coach. I think the new coach should actually build a new team because the Matt Ryan era is over in Atlanta, in my opinion. That's what they should do. Get something for them before they leave in free agency, and then you get nothing. That's what they should do. But if they don't do that, then they should really try and build around them. But I think building around those two guys is not going to help the Falcons. Coming in at number 27, we got the Detroit Lions ending their season 5-11. And now hiring Dan Campbell as their head coach is a very good opportunity for the Detroit Lions. After, officially it's not pen to paper, but they've officially technically said, we're trading Matthew Stafford to the LA Rams and getting Jared Goff in return. I think Jared Goff, if he does not become the future of the franchise in Detroit, that he's not going to be the future franchise quarterback of anyone. And that will just be a backup quarterback in the future. But the Detroit Lions are in a good position. They're going to get draft capital in return. They're going to get about 2 first-rounders from the Los Angeles Rams for Matthew Stafford. And by the way, the Detroit Lions only are leaving Stafford. They're only trading him away. So that's going to be very good on their side. And honestly, they can build around Jared Goff. But if they want, and Jared Goff is not their guy, they can go ahead and either draft a quarterback in the draft, but not in the first round. I don't think they should, but that would be a nice option. Like, if you want to say, oh, this guy isn't our guy, so we're just going to draft the guy who is going to be our guy, then that's fine too. It's all right. Like, Jared Goff is not a bad quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. Coming in at number 26, we got the Denver Broncos at 5-11. Now, the Broncos ended their season with a loss to the Las Vegas Raiders by 1 point. But regardless, the Broncos did very well with Jerry Jeudy. Even though it wasn't that incredible of a season, I think Jerry Jeudy and the guys that are coming back, and if they bring back Von Miller, as I believe this is Von Miller's final year in 2021, and you got Drew Lock ready to go for 2021, I think the Denver Broncos could push for a wild card spot. I'm not saying a division title because the division title is more between Vegas and Kansas City. I don't think that the Denver Broncos will win the division in 2021. Coming in at number 25, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-11-1. And after their loss to the Washington football team. By the way, if they had won, it would have been the Giants going into the playoffs at 6-10 rather than the Washington football team at 7-9. But regardless of that, have we ever seen a team tank like the Philadelphia Eagles did? No. Honestly, that was tanking by their head coach. Doug, you're gone. Yeah, that's it. After that, you were done. It was not even a question. Doug was going to be gone no matter what. But they got their new head coach. Hopefully he can actually build something with Carson Wentz. If not, trade him away maybe to Indianapolis and then get a new franchise quarterback, which could help you out in the future. Maybe a late round draft pick, or maybe see if you can get something with Jalen Hurts. I don't know, but as far as I can see, it's really choppy, the Philadelphia Eagles' future. Now, coming in at number 24, we got the Dallas Cowboys at 6-10 after their loss to the New York Giants. Honestly, Dallas was expected to be a 13-3, 10-6, 9-7 team this year. It didn't turn out that way, as they didn't even get a winning record. None of the teams in that division did. But regardless, I think that the Cowboys are in a tough situation. Dak Prescott is on his franchise tag. I don't think that they can franchise tag him again, but if they can, they would, and try and see what they can get in Dak Prescott next year. But if they can't, I think they would rather just sign him to a low deal and say, can you prove yourself again? Because after your injury, we really want you to see if we have something in you. Like a 1-year deal for him. And then after that 1-year deal, if he does incredible, like a quarterback is supposed to do, then just pay the man. Honestly, Dak Prescott, could be the franchise quarterback if they give him another chance. Coming in at number 23, we got the New York Football Giants. And at 6-10, their win over the Cowboys was not enough to win the division. They needed the Washington football team to lose, which they in fact couldn't. And well, they decided to win instead because Doug Peterson decided to be a complete butthole about winning football games, apparently, because he put Nate Sudfeld in for Jalen Hurts for some odd reason, and that's what got him fired. But regardless, the Giants, they are a touchy situation with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was not expected to go in the first round, or better yet, there. They could have at least got him in the second or third round. But Dwayne Haskins, he wouldn't have done better in New York. It definitely wouldn't have done better. I think the bright lights in New York would have done him even worse than it did in Washington. But regardless, the Giants could build around him, could honestly build something like they did with Eli Manning. But I don't think that the New York Giants are going to go to the playoffs next year. Coming in at number 22, we got the Carolina Panthers at 5-11. And their devastating loss over the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, that's devastating, but Teddy Bridgewater isn't the future. I know that for a fact. I think that they're going to have to go with a new quarterback in the draft. Maybe in the first round they get a quarterback, and Teddy, he could be a bridge quarterback to whoever, honestly, the Carolina Panthers decide to draft. Or they can get a free agency quarterback or someone in free agency and get him to be the bridge quarterback to whoever they draft. Because honestly, I think the Carolina Panthers need to draft a quarterback because Teddy isn't the answer. But if they got something in Phillip Walker, then they don't need to draft a quarterback. But it would be nice to draft a quarterback in the later rounds if they go the route of Phillip Walker. Coming in at number 21, we got the Washington Football Team, the 7-9 division champions of the NFC East. And their loss in the playoffs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who ended up winning the Super Bowl, well, that was honestly impressive. Taylor Heineke got a 2-year contract extension with the football team to be the backup quarterback. And Heineke's actually happy for this, because he doesn't think that he can get a starting quarterback role. There's no way another team's going to get, oh, this guy could be my starter. No. I think the guy's a backup, and honestly, he's going to be the backup back over there back in Washington. Coming in at number 20, we got the New England Patriots at 7-9 after their win over the Jets in their final game of the 2020 NFL season. They are eliminated. They eliminated themselves. They were not playing good. Cam Newton will not be the quarterback in 2021 for the New England Patriots. And to be honest, who thought it would have been the day? It had to basically be Tom Brady leaving for Tampa Bay. And then the Bucs going like, you know what? I like this guy. I like this guy and I want this guy to lead my team. And guess what? Brady led your team to a Super Bowl. Unlike the Patriots, who honestly went to the elimination area. But regardless, Bill Belichick, you have to improve. You have to improve. You have to get a new quarterback. And I think in this draft is where you can get your franchise quarterback in Mac Jones. Coming in at number 19, we got the Chicago Bears at 8-8. And their playoff loss to the New Orleans Saints, oh my. That was an incredible game for the Saints, a horrific game for the Bears. And oh my god, that television broadcast from Nickelodeon, that was honestly weird in my opinion. But the fact is, the Chicago Bears need to move on from Mitch Trubisky. Matt Nagy can stay, but only for one more year. Matt Nagy has to prove himself this last year if he's the guy. Whether it's he drafts a quarterback this year, or whether it's he gets it from free agency, or whether it's Nick Foles, doesn't matter. You have to win and get to the playoffs next year and win a playoff game. You cannot be losing playoff games. I'm just saying. The Chicago Bears have to improve, and Matt Nagy has to improve, unless he wants to find himself in unemployment. Coming in at number 18, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at 8-8, and then you get their win over the Broncos. I think that they should trade Derek Carr, but not yet. They need to get something very, very, very enticing in order to trade Derek Carr, because I think they can win with Mariota, but not as the future. I think Mariota has to prove himself more to be the future franchise quarterback. But regardless, I saw a trade option. It wasn't really like, oh, they're talking, they could do it, but honestly, it could work for the Washington football team, the Houston Texans, and Las Vegas Raiders, where these two teams, the Washington football team and the Las Vegas Raiders, trade picks. That way, Derek Carr ends up in, I believe, Washington or Houston. Yeah, Washington. While basically the Raiders get Deshaun Watson. I don't think this is going to happen, as the Jets are most likely the ones that are going to get Deshaun Watson if he's ever traded. But regardless, that's an interesting trade, and I'll show it up right now. But regardless, I think that this trade with Derek Carr won't happen unless it's enticing for both the Raiders and the opposing team. Coming in at number 17, we got the San Francisco 49ers. And after their loss to the Seattle Seahawks at 6-10, they honestly need to start thinking, is Jimmy Garoppolo your guy? I think he could. It could be the guy, but he needs to be better. He needs to do better. But is that going to be enough? I think it could. If you put weapons around him, if the defense comes back fully healthy, if everything comes back to the 2019 San Francisco 49ers, I think they can not only win the division, but they could also make a playoff run. But they're going to have a really tough time, as they got the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Rams all loaded for a playoff run. And I think that it's going to be very difficult, but we might be seeing 4 teams from the same division in the playoffs next year. Coming in at number 16, we got the Arizona Cardinals, who finished the season 8-8 after their loss to the LA Rams. And honestly, I think that the Cardinals are a potential playoff team in 2021. But Kyler Murray has to come back healthy. Honestly, if Kyler Murray isn't there, the Cardinals have no chance. I don't think they have a chance. Even if they have some scrub backup to DeAndre Hopkins. If he throws it to DeAndre Hopkins, I do not care. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals will have a chance if they don't have Kyler Murray at quarterback. And it was shown after he got injured and the Rams not destroyed him, but beat him. Coming in at number 15, we got the Minnesota Vikings at 7-9. They beat the Lions in the last game of the season. But is that enough? I think Kirk Cousins, you need to look more into him. Is he your guy? Is he not your guy? Because I'm saying, if your coach gets fired next year, Kirk Cousins is out. There's no way Kirk Cousins is staying in Minnesota if his coach is fired next year. But regardless, they got a good receiving core. They got some good running backs. They need to fix up the defense, who was horrendous this last year. But to be honest, not too many downs on the offense, but so many on the defense. They got to improve the defense and see if Kirk Cousins is your future guy. Coming in at number 14, we got the LA Chargers. And at 7-9, defeating the Chiefs in their final regular season game. Honestly, very good, even though they were facing the Chiefs' backups, but very good. But the point is, their quarterback was the Rookie of the Year. They had the most incredible offense to not make the playoffs. I think that the LA Chargers are a team to be reckoned with in the future, because right now, even though they got a quarterback who could throw 300 yards a game with 4 touchdowns, it really doesn't matter, because that quarterback, even though he does that, the team still loses, and that's because the defense is trash. and they should really improve their defense. Coming in at number 13, we got the Indianapolis Colts at 11-5, losing to the Bills in the playoffs, but there are rumors. Either Carson Wentz traded to Indianapolis or Andrew Luck coming out of retirement. I think the better option would be Andrew Luck coming back because honestly, Andrew Luck is a whole lot better than Carson Wentz in my opinion. Even though Carson Wentz was and still is a capable quarterback, I think the undisputed number 1 overall pick of the 2012 NFL Draft is definitely the better option for the Colts if they can get him back. Coming in at number 12, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and at 12-4, defeating. Oh wait, they didn't defeat no one. They got butt whooped by the Cleveland Browns in the wild card. Yes, the Cleveland Browns, the team that was the punching bag of the Pittsburgh Steelers, defeated the Steelers in the playoffs. By the way, had a 28-0 lead in the first quarter. How many teams do you see do that? And you saw the Browns do that to the Steelers. The Steelers are trash on defense. They honestly thought, oh, we're sick. We're 11-0. Oh, sick. We're 12-4. It doesn't matter. The Browns, we schooled them last week. Even though we didn't have that much players. And honestly, we would have schooled them if they weren't. Well, honestly, I don't care if you didn't school them. Yeah, you schooled them in their first game. You didn't school them in your second. And then you got totally destroyed by the Browns in the playoffs where it actually mattered. And to be honest, I don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers will have Ben Roethlisberger in the future. Dwayne Haskins signing to the Steelers as a practice squad member, maybe not the starter. But anyways, the Steelers could use a new quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger needs to retire. Coming in at number 11, we got the Miami Dolphins at 10-6, and their loss, devastating loss against the Buffalo Bills, killed any opportunity for them being in the playoffs. But honestly, this team wasn't even expected to make a winning season. And look at that, 10-win season. They are the second best team in that division, right in front of the New England Patriots. Tell me how that happens. That only happened because Brady left New England. And yes, Brady wasn't a system quarterback. He proved it all when he won the Super Bowl. But regardless, the Dolphins are very good as well. They did well this year, even against tough teams. Even though they lost devastatingly to the Bills, honestly, I'm going to fear the Miami Dolphins in 2021. So coming in at number 10, we got the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans making their names heard at 11-5, but their loss to the Ravens screwed that up. But it doesn't matter. They weren't expected to win the Super Bowl or even make it to the AFC Championship game, at least the divisional round. But is the Titans a team to be feared? Not on defense. But on offense, that's a different story. They got Derrick Henry. They got the king of running backs in their backfield. And that's something that you should be fearing, because that guy is the offensive player of the year. And honestly, Ryan Tannehill, he can just throw balls to guys. Oh, here you go. You get this ball. You get this ball. You get this ball. And just lands it everywhere. But the point is this guy going to be the guy? I think that honestly, one thing's for certain. This is for certain. That the team that is going to be in the playoffs next year might be the Tennessee Titans, but if the Colts improve and replace Phillip Rivers, I think that they're going to have a little bit of trouble with the Colts like they did this year. Coming in at number 9, we got the Cleveland Browns, and at 11-5, whooping the Steelers to then get whooped by the Chiefs in the divisional round. I think that, the Browns did very good. Not better than 1994, but honestly, the last playoff win was back then. And honestly, it was their first playoff appearance since 2002. So I could see more Browns playoff runs in the near future. But Baker Mayfield has to get his receivers in check, because OBJ, of course, he got injured, but he's kind of a diva. You got Jarvis Landry, and you got all these guys, Rashard Higgins, you got David Njoku, you got your running back duo of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Honestly, that offense is very good, and their defense could improve a bit. Coming in at number 8, we got the Baltimore Ravens at 11-5 to get whooped by the Bills in the next round, in the divisional round. But regardless, I think the Ravens have a good team that might be regressing, because I think Lamar Jackson's team, not Lamar Jackson himself, is regressing. Because I think they need to make a better defense next year and improve their offense. I think that the Ravens could make the playoffs next year, but of course not as a division champions. That will be in between the Browns and the Steelers. Coming in at number 7, we got my Seattle Seahawks at 12-4, and their loss to the Los Angeles Rams was unexpected. Honestly, how did we lose this game? How did we lose this game? I don't know. But recently, Russell Wilson has stated that he would like more talks inside who comes into Seattle, whether it's personnel or players or whatever. And honestly, I think the Seahawks should give him the opportunity to voice his precautions with teams. Like maybe, because look what happened. Antonio Brown went to Tampa and won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, of course. The Bucs were an incredible team. But imagine if Seattle had not only DK Metcalf, not only Tyler Lockett, not only these other receivers like Freddie Swain or the now retired Greg Olsen, but had Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon. That would have been an incredible receiving core to have in Seattle. And we know Antonio Brown would definitely be a top wide receiver in Seattle, because honestly in Seattle they've dealt with divas in the past and won a Super Bowl with divas on the side. Have you seen Richard Sherman? Honestly, he went to be a diva in San Francisco and lost the Super Bowl. But I think that when he was in Seattle, that was his better years. I think he was better in Seattle than he was. Also, age could be a factor. But the point is, Seattle in the future could be a better team if Russell Wilson gets some talks inside the personnel changes. Coming in at number 6, we got the Los Angeles Rams at 10-6, defeated the Seahawks, but were utterly destroyed by the Packers. There's no way they were going to beat Green Bay. The only one who could rival Green Bay is New Orleans and Seattle. That's it. But regardless, I think that this game would have been a lot better if it was Seattle or Tampa. Because honestly, Tampa ended up facing Green Bay in the next round. So maybe they would have eliminated them there. And Seattle eliminates the New Orleans Saints. But probably Seattle got eliminated by the Buccaneers anyways. But regardless of that, the Rams did very good. They did very good. Got into the playoffs and defeated the Seahawks. Not to the Packers, but still, very good playoff run. But now they got Matthew Stafford, not officially, but they're gonna replace Jared Goff with Matthew Stafford. And I think that would be a very good opportunity for the Los Angeles Rams. Coming in at number 5, we got the New Orleans Saints. And the Saints losing to the Buccaneers in the divisional round, honestly, that was a shocker. That was a shocker to everyone. Everyone thought the Buccaneers were going to lose. But they decided, nope, we're defeating Drew Brees, who might retire. I don't think he would. He has 1 year left on his contract. I think he would try and get one more win. Try and squeeze one more win. But if he does not win the Super Bowl next year, he will definitely retire. Unless he retires this year. But regardless, I think that Drew Brees will definitely be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL in NFL history. Coming in at number 4, we got the Buffalo Bills at 13-3, and the Chiefs ended up destroying the Bills after being down in that game. And the Buffalo Bills are definitely a team to be reckoned with in 2021 as the up-and-coming MVP candidate, not MVP winner. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And that Buffalo Bills team, honestly, is something to be frightened with by every team, even the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Coming in at number 3, we got the Green Bay Packers. And at 13-3, the ones who lost the NFC Championship game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went on to win the Super Bowl. Honestly, impressive. Impressive for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as the Packers were not there in the game. Honestly, they were there a bit, but they weren't there to win it. Because, honestly, who goes for a freaking field goal when you need to score more than a field goal? I would have just gone for it. I would have thrown all the marbles. Throw all the marbles down onto the table and see if I have luck. But honestly, the Packers didn't do that and they lost. But either ways, I think they would have lost. Anyways, they were making too many mistakes, and honestly, they could help out Aaron Rodgers at least, unless they trade him away and think Jordan Love's the guy. But I don't think after 1 year Jordan Love is ready. Coming in at number 2, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl 54 champions. We're going into the Super Bowl at 14-2, the best team in the NFL, and got schooled 31-9 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way, Tampa Bay this year was the first team to ever host a Super Bowl at their home stadium. But not only that, they also are the first ones to win a home game in the Super Bowl. You probably never see that again. I don't think the Rams or Chargers will make the Super Bowl next year, because the next one is in Los Angeles, and I don't think either team will make the Super Bowl. But I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might be a team to look out for. As the Kansas City Chiefs, you gotta evolve, like Patrick Mahomes has said. Evolve your offense, because it's gonna be even more difficult next year. Because they're gonna go look what the Bucs did. Let's just do that, and then you come with something else, and then screw over the league again. Now at number 1, the undisputed, defending Super Bowl 55 champions of the world, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at 11-5. They are about the 4th team to basically go. Technically 4 games on the road, because the Super Bowl is a neutral game, even though it was played in Tampa Bay. You can count it either ways, but regardless, I do not count it that way. I count it as 3 away games and 1 home game. But regardless, I think that the Buccaneers are a team that will most likely try and win another Super Bowl, and Brady has stated that he will be back. So honestly, I hope we can get to see Brady again in the Super Bowl and see if he's got it to win 8 Super Bowls and tie Bill Belichick with 8 rings. Now that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also tell me down in the comments below, who do you think will win? Who do you think will lose? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.